Tony, take me through the whole chain, if you can, quickly, from the manufacturers to you, the distributors, to what you're seeing in terms of getting stuff on the shelves. What's the impact right now of Omicron as it continues to spread?
Great. So a couple of points here, Dave. First of all, we are uniquely engaged in navigating this all these supply chain disruptions. We run 150 grocery stores. We service a significant number of military commissaries across the globe and provide wholesale services to over 2,000 groceries in the middle of the country. So we're navigating all that right now, and it's been a unique opportunity for us to learn these last couple of years. The effects that you mentioned about both the supply chain disruptions and the inflationary effects, which are related, it's important to note they're coming from one primary source, and that is the tight labor markets right now. People are experiencing that from the manufacturing plants to trucking, our shops, as well as the retail stores. That has had an effect of actually forming these disruptions, and dealing with the labor crisis right now has caused the inflation that we're seeing.
All right, so it's not so much the virus, which we can imagine, spiking cases, people are out for a little bit. It would seem to be a longer-term problem then if you just can't get enough people to be hired to fill the jobs.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think the effects of the virus are now having much smaller effect than just the effects of trying to get the people to do the work to drive our economy. And some of that has been caused by the virus initially, the pandemic. Right now, we're dealing mostly with a matter of people who have taken themselves out of the workforce, as well as the policies that have allowed people to kind of do more sampling of jobs, and that churn has caused disruptions in a lot of industries.
So we're seeing the tightness in the labor market. And Tony, I know I've spoken to you about this before, but let's revisit actual food prices and from an inflation standpoint, how you're navigating that right now.
Yeah, it's a great question. So we're seeing inflation in every aisle. And one thing that's crystal clear is that no category and no business is going to be immune from the inflation or the supply chain disruptions. We are navigating it by working hard with our suppliers to get the best pricing we can. But the fact of the matter is that they're actually experiencing cost increases that are extraordinary. They're going to pass those on, and we're dealing with a number of tools to try to minimize the effects of that with our communities that we serve. So amongst those, I'll give you a couple of examples. On one hand, we announced earlier this year that we're going through a supply chain transformation, make our supply chain more resilient to deal with some of the issues that we're facing and we think we'll continue to face. We're going to be announcing within a couple of days that we have extended a partnership with an organization we work with called Coastal Pacific to reposition a lot of our goods through their warehouses for our West Coast customers. And that effect will have us to be more predictable and more able to supply those customers in a more effective way. It's also going to pull out costs. It's going to pull out 7 million miles out of the system, and it'll reduce the emissions of greenhouse gases by about 10,000 metric tons. So it's good for our customers, it's good for us, and it's good for the environment. That's one way we're dealing with that. Our first foray into this is always to figure out what we can do to provide a buffer for these issues for our customers.